Yeah. Well, and as far as James Gunn goes, going back to everything like Chris said and everything like that, he has maintained that he's going to build upon what worked, fix what didn't, and that's kind of what I had said weeks and months ago. And I think at this point we don't know for sure. He's the only, and that's what I've been saying for the last few weeks, going on the whole scoop thing. Like I said, I could have been out there doing scoops and shit, but it'd been a boring last 3 weeks because as I've just been constantly saying, nobody knows nothing but James Gunn. And at this point, nobody really knows nothing but James Gunn. You could speculate that a few people may know something. Like I have a feeling Gal Gadot put out her tweet because she knew something, because she either got a phone call or was privy to that meeting. And they're like, yeah, Patty walked. What are you going to do? Are you going to go with her? Are you sticking with us? And well, we already know the answer to that, because when Patty got booted from Cleopatra, Gal Gadot stuck around. She's not dumb. She knows what side of the bread is supposed to be buttered on.
Well, her tweet, Patty who, was kind of revelatory.
I didn't see that one, James.
No.
I didn't see that one. But no, James, I think he's smart. He knows that Henry Cavill's popular, but he knows that, you know, the Zack Snyder shit wasn't working.
No,
and everybody knows that.
Plus, Tom, I mean, you know, James Gunn has cool hair. So immediately that's, you know.
Well, and he has a great taste in music, but that's neither here nor there. So.
And a hot wife.
Yes. He does have a hot wife. Yes.
I'm just saying he's winning all over the place, is my point. Hollywood loves winners. He's a winner.
I think there has been this thing about at Warner Brothers where they have told everybody that do not attack the fans. Because outside of the little jab he took at Den of Geek, James has been really cordial with the fans. I mean, he's even gone so far as to say that, yes, there's going to be some things that people aren't going to like, but trust in us that we are putting the story and the characters first, right? You were going to say something, Chris? Sorry.
No, just I agree with everything you said. That you got to look. The guy's been on the job for what? Not even 3 months. Okay, like give him a little time. But I do think that maybe his thought is like, you know, maybe we need to do a completely hard reboot and pivot. Or how do we retain these other characters and as to story? Plus, he's saddled with leftover content that's still stuck in the Zack Snyder universe, including the Suicide Squad. You know, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, including the Peacemaker series, which is Snyderverse, including Flash and Aquaman 2, which and Shazam. So what does he do?
Well, that's the thing you got to understand too, is some of this is his stuff.
Doesn't matter. It's his stuff under the umbrella of Zack Snyder. If you had the opportunity to wipe the slate clean as a creative, he would right away.
But we also have to take into consideration what David Zaslav wants. That's the other thing, is nobody is really bringing that up either. And that's where it all comes down to, because he's got to present this to David Zaslav this next week.
No, this
we
week.
don't know. It's either this week or next week. Yeah, it's before Christmas. That's all I know. Yeah. It was supposed to be in before Christmas. So then we'll start. And I don't think we're going to hear anything right away. That's what everybody's starting to think, we're going to hear something right away. No, I said we'll start maybe hearing things trickle out in January. But if not, we won't hear shit until till David Zaslav is speaking at the quarterly meeting at the beginning of the year. That might be where they drop some of this stuff. Or we'll just hear it just that week before. It's going to trickle out. I don't think, unless they do some big presentation, that could very well happen too. But we'll have to wait and see. But we have some rolling internet issues. It looks like we got Paul back now, and Andres.
No, I just hit the wrong button.
Oh, you just hit the wrong button.
Oh, that's funny.
I do that sometimes. Yep. But no, I hear what you're saying, you guys. But at this point, I think, from what I've heard and everything that's going down, I don't think Henry Cavill's going anywhere. I could be wrong. I don't think Gal Gadot's going anywhere, but I could be wrong. I think Jason Momoa is either going to be playing Lobo and or both roles going forward.
People want instant gratification across multiple platforms, whether it's buying a cheap couch from China or something. My parents used to save up 2 years to get a couch that lasted them another 30. So everybody wants instant gratification on their entertainment front, their news front, their rumors front. Everything has to be instant. And look at Musk and Twitter. Everyone is okay. This is a long play. You're gonna have to wait at least a year, 2 years before he finally sorts things out. But everyone is predicting already it's death, and look how badly it's doing, and everything else. Everyone is pronouncing things so quickly without, as you said. I mean, this guy Gunn should have a year before people should start judging what he's been doing.
Well, he's already flat out said that you're not going to start seeing his stuff. Well, I guess outside of whatever he does for Peacemaker until after, of course, Blue Beetle, and that's pretty much it, because that's where the end of the line is. And Peter Safran actually produced that, so that's kind of like this bridge. Joker 2 is its own thing, so that doesn't even really count in the DCU. I doubt James has any purview over that whatsoever. But then again, we don't know what's going on with Matt Reeves yet. There's been a lot of speculation around, Pattinson. Affleck is the one that I've heard some rumors about, because they still want the main trinity, is what I've heard. They want Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and Henry Cavill as Superman. But I've heard Ben might be having some personal issues. We talked about that a little bit last week, so we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, yes, Script Doctor, you're right. If he wants to hard reset, and he probably would. I see what you're saying. But he's also got another season of Peacemaker and stuff like that. He's going forward, it seems like to me, like he's going to continue down the road he was going. He's just going to start pushing things into a different direction, I think. And we may see a hard kind of line there at some point. And that's kind of something I've been told too, is where, and that's what I've said before, is we're going to see a lot of the same, or we're going to see some of the same actors back in the same roles. Maybe we'll see some others not, but a lot of these people are gone. And from going on here forward, like Superman is going to be a big priority is another thing I've said, and that's kind of what he's saying here. And yeah, so we'll have yet to see what's going to happen here, because there's this whole last week was set off with this speculation that Ben Affleck was not going to be in. Ben Affleck was out because he's not in the Aquaman 2 test screening that supposedly happened. And I'm like, well, that doesn't mean shit. And we also don't even know what the hell's going on with Amber Heard yet. And I've been hearing some more rumors about that, so I don't know. But that's where it's been mostly quiet. I have not heard anything otherwise, because I know that's what I've been told time and time again, is nobody knows nothing but James Gunn. And he's been away in the mountains of Aspen writing the Bible or whatever for the last couple
I
weeks.
think Hollywood could do itself a favor and just start making oldie time movies and just completely ignore all the superhero stuff for a while.
That would be nice.
I want oldie time movies.
I know there's a lot of producers who would love that to happen.
They just, well, yeah, because they don't like the $150 to $200 million budgets. They're crazy.
Yeah, I'm tired of the superhero movies themselves, but I'm also tired of the conversation, the endless conversation around them. I'd rather talk about anything from 1980.
I am excited about this though, Paul. This is the one time I've been excited about superhero stuff in a while.
I totally agree with you,
because James is he's a huge fan, and I have a feeling he's going to make a lot of people happy in comparison to what we had seen before. And at this point, I'm willing to give him a chance. He's made my favorite Marvel movies. He's all these stuff. I've never seen a bad movie of his. Like all of his films I've seen that he's been a part of, they were good in some, at least in the sense that, like even Dawn of the Dead that he wrote. And I hate like a lot of remakes like that usually.
Well, Tromeo and Juliet, I mean, Troma deliberately does try to make bad movies, but make them fun.
Well, that's different. But
that's different. But I think he learned a lot from that.
But I mean, you go back and look at something like Super even, or The Specials, and that's like almost 20 some years ago. And it still is like, you can see the kernel of who this guy is going to be.
Sure. But yeah, still the success of the superhero movies are, I believe strongly, is going to be dependent on a wider range of movies to sandwich them in. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
I think Gunn understands that, because as Chris pointed out, he was a part of the early part of Marvel.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like The Breakfast Club or Witness.
Oh, well, that's what I was saying before, when Tarantino said before, those movies are dead. They don't make those kind of movies anymore. And he even said that do they make my kind of movies anymore? He's like,
but I'm saying that if DC or Warner Brothers and Disney were serious about supporting their superheroes slate, they would invest in these other movies, so they've got a smorgasbord of things for people to view. It would actually help the superhero movies.
Well, that's what David Zaslav wants to do. He has said flat out, like, basically these DC films should be basically bankrolling everything else so they can take more chances on the other ends.